What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to more Black Desert. So today is going to be a topic that a lot of you guys have been asking. This is also kind of, I guess, more or less beginner to intermediate level. So we're going to be talking about grind spots. And first of all, we're going to be looking at all of these, and I'll give you my thoughts and opinions of my own spots as well as the official labeled spots. So we're going to start out with, I don't know, I guess 180 AP and going up all the way into the 300 zone. So where should you grind? What is efficient? And I think I'll just give you my opinions on all the spots in general. So hopefully this will be very informative on how you guys can pick your grind spots. And some are obviously better than the others. So I'll give you my opinions on some of them that I thought of myself. But first we'll look at all the official ones that they labeled. So I guess if it's relevant, they decided, or Perlibus decided, hey, let's put it on this monster info. So yeah, if you're under like 200, you should be doing seasons and just grinding various spots. So let's see, where do we start? I guess if we go in, let's go from bottom to top, and let's see. So I guess if you're questing, if you're a new player, just start questing to like 56 and then 57. And if you're on a new season, you'll probably just get gear over time by questing, and then you enhance it. It's not super hard. So let's start out with the 100 area and then go upwards. Desert Naga Temple. That is close to Valencia, Sandgrain Bazaar. Then you go left. Is it a good spot? I think it's a good spot. It used to be pretty solid a few years ago, and then Kama Sylvia came out. But I don't think it's a bad spot. There's a lot of density, so it may not be as contested as it was before. So if you just want a quiet grind spot, yeah, it's kind of out of the way, but it's pretty good for XP. And I think recently they actually buffed a lot of the grind spots to the point where the silver isn't as bad anymore, so it actually might be pretty good for silver. And in terms of items, there's I mean, if you get Spectre's energies, you'll be using them eventually. So these aren't something that's like, oh, 30 mil as a new player. That seems like a lot, but trust me when I say you want to save these. And then as for artifacts, AP is always good. And I don't know, maybe you need this if you play an archer or ranger. So yeah, I think Nagas are pretty solid. As for, I know they give a DP limit, but we're not really going to look at that much because it's one of those just don't get hit kind of things. Or even if you do, you'll probably be able to survive it. It's not like, I think AP is a little bit more valuable in PvE spots because it's efficiently doing like the grind spot efficiently versus being able to do it. That's two different things. So we're going to look at their numbers as in they chose it because it's efficient to do it. Like, yeah, you probably could come to Nagas at like 85 AP and kill them, but will you be able to do it fast? No, I don't know. Fogans. This is kind of out of the way. I actually grinded here back in the day from 60 to 61 and then partly to 62. And it is in the desert, which is kind of an annoying spot, but it is solid. So I think, why not? Now, Bashams. This is an OG spot, and back in the day, I grinded from like 56 to 60 here. This is way before Kama even came out, and Valencia spots were like the way to go. So I don't think this is the best anymore, but like if you want a quiet grind spot, this is probably the way to go as well. Sawson's a little outdated. I mean, once again, you'll probably go up to 55, 56 here, but that's about it. I think they got reworked. Soldier's Grave used to be the OG spot for skill points, and even now in my seasons, I grinded a little bit here. Mostly 4 skill points, but you could get yourself up to like 57, 58 here, and that's okay. Hazra Cliff. Now this one is something where it has an upper and a lower level, so kind of like Sakraya, where it's like upper and lower. The upper level is kind of not that great, but the lower level is pretty good if you want Elcars and a lot of artifacts, so we'll get there later. Fadus, it's a place in Kama Sylvia, like those blue... to be honest, I don't even know what they are, Fadus, but like they're the blue standing like wolf dog things. And it's good to get yourself up to like 56 or 57 there, and then it just falls off. But, I mean, probably empty. Ashira is probably an awful place. I hated it. I grinded this place twice, really, for the ancient potion piece. So eventually you'll probably be here. Is it fun? Absolutely not. Will you have to come here at some point? Probably. Is it good? Maybe. It's a high density spot, so you'll probably be fine up to like 57 here. I don't know. Crescent Shrine used to be good. It kind of fell off, and it's out in the desert, so I can't really recommend it. Kadri's is pretty solid now. After the buff, it's not that bad to get to. And these 2 artifacts are the reasons why you'll be here. The money itself is like probably 200-300 mil an hour, assuming you are over this limit. So the reason why you'll be at Kadri's is mostly for the artifacts. All evasion and all DR ones are pretty solid. Bandits used to be here a while ago. I don't really know how it went, and even through the current season that's going on, I grinded here, and I got from 58 to I think 60 there. It was kind of slow, maybe an hour or two, but I mean, I still don't think it's bad. But if you need the melee artifacts, that's pretty solid. So yeah, not bad, not the worst. Probably could be better, but if you want a quiet place to grind, it's good. Polly's, oh boy, this is a pretty contested spot. It's solid for skill points. The XP is okay up until like 58 or something, but then the reason why you're here is for skill points, and the money I heard was average. So I think this is a pretty solid spot, and a lot of other people agree that it's okay as well, or pretty good. But I think it's a lower end high spot. Like if you're mid geared, this is a pretty solid spot. We'll skip all these. Blood Wolves is a PvE, or well, I was gonna say PvE, but it's potion spot is what I meant to say. You're gonna be here for that. Everything else is a bonus. It's really nice, but is it good? Not really. But the reason why you'll be here is for the potion piece. This is the health one. Bassi actually got reworked recently, and I haven't been there since, but I think it's, instead of monsters, the last time I was there, they're like statues, and then you just like attack the statues, and then it's like waves of enemies, kind of like Star's End. And yeah, I don't know. Like, I've never tried it since the rework, but apparently it's a group spot now, so I don't, what in the world? Oh yeah, group spots aren't affected by that. Okay, never mind. Can't give you a solid opinion on that one. Centaurs is probably the most cracked money spot for mid-geared players right now. This 190 AP recommendation is, you can definitely be there and kill efficiently with like 170 from what I've heard. So yeah, Centaurs probably like one of the higher end spots for money at lower geared for lower geared players. So very contested spot, very good spot as well for money. So if you just need like 500 mil an hour and you are 200 AP, this is probably the place to be. Just keep in mind there are people there like 24/7, so be ready for that. Just throwing it out there, but it is very good. Also, you do have to use Agris there to make it worth it. So Shuriken day and night. I've actually been here. I go here like at least once a week just to go for the pity pieces for my second HP pot. And I think I make roughly between like 350 to 500 mil an hour. Granted, I am a little over geared for the spot, but I think for your average player, money and silver will be solid here. To this day, I have gotten one Spectre's energy drop in my entire career, and then there's another one from an event. And I grinded both potion pieces and a lot of like just hours doing random stuff. So I think they buffed various spots, and I think that Thornwood is probably the best of Spectres, but I think I've gotten one Spectre in like 400 hours, which is pretty bad. But yeah, just keep that in mind if you're going there, but you're really going there for potion pieces, and I guess the silver is pretty solid. Day and night, so this is a different grind spot. So during the day, they just have monsters in your usual rotation. At nighttime, there's like a statue, and you pay energy, and then like you'll get stronger waves of enemies. So I think that nighttime is better for like the pieces in general, but daytime is pretty solid for money as well. So overall, a good spot. Navern Step. Oh boy. In terms of grinding, I don't know how this is, but it is a piece that you need to be for the infinite mana potion. And I heard that no one likes it. I got kind of lucky when I got mine. It only took me about like 40 hours, but then at the same time, when I say it only took me 40 hours, I was like already guru gathering with mastery gear. So for your average player going in, it might be a little bit worse, or you could just get lucky. I have no idea. But 40 hours for me was pretty solid. Sulfur Mine. We're actually grinding here now because we are going for both the Archaeologist map and the Compass. And the money here is not that bad. It's probably like 300 to 400 mil an hour, but realistically, you're going here for the map piece. And do I think it's 210 AP and up? I think that you could get away with like 200 and you'll be fine efficiently. Pilaku Jail. Man, I've been here for like hundreds of hours back in the day when 210 was considered like the meta soft cap, and never got a piece there, but I've grinded circles and I have plenty of videos on the channel from many years ago. So if you want to watch those, go for it. It's kind of out of the way, but they did buff the trash, so it's probably a solid spot. It's just, once again, literally on across the region all the way under Valencia. So it's going to take you like 20 minutes just to get there, probably. Schultz, I think, is a dead spot. People who grind there just want like the peace and quiet. I don't think anything is actually worth your time there. Sakraya Upper is... I think if you're there, you're probably there for the Rich Merchant Ring piece. In terms of silver, I don't think it's that good. You're probably going to be at the underwater Sakraya area where the money rolls in. Now, we're getting into the higher end. 240 spots and up is probably where you go after seasons, because I think if you are full Pen Tuvala gear, you're roughly around 240 AP, 230, 240, right? And so what LVS spots are good? Ultra Imps, gonna be honest, haven't been there that much. So when I went for my, like the cup thingies that you add onto your accessories, I didn't get the blue ones at Imps. I went to the swamp ones, so the swamp Nagas, so I can only give you my experience on that one. Brigadi Den, I think it is slightly better for the drain shards, but I think it's less money overall. So, yeah. If you're going for the drain shards, good. Money, not so much. Mirror Mock. Ooh, this has been like a meta spot for quite a while for XP. The silver itself, not so great, but if you're just trying to push your way up to like 66 or something, Mirror Mock is a good spot to do that. Also, it is a group grind. So here's how Mirror Mock works. You could grind it solo, or you can grind it with like 3 to 5 people, unless they changed it. But like overall, if you see people's like, hey, can I leech here? It's because this spot is very cracked for XP. Ronaros is pretty decent. I've actually grinded here for like the weekly, and of course this is the infinite HP spot, and I think I made about like 2 to 400 mil an hour here, but you're really going for the pity pieces. This one was a huge pain to get, and man, it's not bad anymore, but if you're going for the infinite HP spot, it's not that bad for silver. But you're just gonna have to be grinding their circles for literally hours, because the things that drop it are the catchers or was it catchers? Guardians, and the ones with the orange one. Catchers, I believe. And there's not a lot of them compared to other spots, so that's why you'll probably be here longer. But it is not bad for silver, and the scenery is pretty nice. So overall, not bad. Pretty solid spot. Infinite mana potion at Monshums. To this day, I had to grind out two 100 pity pieces to get my pieces, and it felt bad. I heard they changed it to something other than the shamans that drop it now. I have no idea, but the money here is not bad, and the rotation is a big circle, so easy rotation, solid money. In terms of the actual ancient piece, it might have gotten better. I have no idea. Castle Ruins. This is a pretty solid spot if you have a group of 3, but group grinding is, I understand, harder to do than it was before. So, yeah. Thornwood. Heard the money was mid, but the reason why you're here is for Spectre's Energy is the highest drop rate. I think the left lung is the helmet for the Orzeka, and the right lung is the body piece. So overall, I mean, not bad, but you're really here for some of the items more than anything. Histria Ruins. Oh, the good old Histria and Ackman. You're going for the infinite, or like not infinite, but like the permanent compass piece from Histria and Ackman. I actually uploaded a video yesterday of me doing Histria, and the Elton piece is the good old hard stopping point for a lot of people, just because, yeah, you're not getting it unless you get super cracked or lucky. So, in terms of silver, I think you're looking at probably around like roughly 300 mil an hour on average. You get a lot of scrolls. You get roughly about like 40 to 50 Capris an hour. Same with scrolls, 40 to 50. As for trash loot, that really just depends on your AP. I think 250 is a roughly good spot or recommendation. DP is just don't get hit. So use your super armors and you'll be fine. Just don't get knocked down as much. That's when the big chunks of damage happen. But I think AP is more relevant. Ackman, unless they changed it, back in the day, Histria always used to be harder than Ackman. And I went into Ackman back in the day with like mid 230s and did okay. So I guess the reason why you're here, once again, is for the compass piece. Tongue-grad earrings are only going down in price, which they should. These are kind of like outdated accessories. But once again, Histria and Ackman, probably the same money these days. Maybe Histria is slightly more, but I think you could go into Ackman with less than 250 and be efficient. Whereas Histria is a little bit tougher, but you get slightly more silver. The Kratuga Ancient Ruins. So remember how we talked about the Hazra Cliff before? The Kratuga is basically the underground spot for this one. I think the AP recommendation of 250 is very relevant, and this is the place you go if you want basically any artifact. I think I got like 6 artifacts an hour, and if you get the security latents, those are pretty solid. So if you're looking for a particular artifact, there's a higher chance of you getting it here. I know table of you getting artifacts is probably lower. The probability of you getting the one you want is lower, but you get so many here that I think it makes up for it. This is actually where I got my 2 all DR ones. I've grinded Kadris for this one for like 20 hours and kept getting evasion, and I grinded Kratuga for like 5 hours and got 2 of them. So RNG works in weird ways, but if you're the higher chance of you getting the one you want is probably better here. Just also the max HP artifact. This one is kind of like the things that drop it are kind of weird, so you might as well just go here to get whatever you need. Gonna be honest. So yeah, I'd recommend Agris and 250. You'll be good. Swamp Nagas. This is where I went for. Actually, no. Fogans was the place I went for the blue shards. Swamp Nagas. I didn't actually do this one for yellows. I'm not sure how I feel. I don't have too many hours into it. I don't think it's bad. It's not great either. Fogans is roughly like 300 mil an hour, but the reason why you're there is mostly for the blue shards. So both of these are like entry level Elvia spots in my eyes because they're not too difficult. And 260, yeah, you could probably go in with 250, but the DP recommendation, if you're over like 310, I think that's fine, because by this point, the areas that we're getting into, you should, for the most part, already know how to play your class. So you would know like the super armors and more or less your rotations. So yeah, I think these are like entry level Elvia spots and pretty solid. But realistically, you'll be here for the blue shards. Star's End. Well, it's the only place that drops distortion earrings, so not bad. This spot, in my opinion, in terms of silver itself, it's not that great, but the real drops, the real way people are making money is from the distortion earrings, and obviously a hot item for many years because distos are the best in slot earrings for AP. So let's say if you don't get an earring in an hour, how much silver will you make? Probably about like 150 to 200 mil. If you get an earring, that's where the money starts rolling in. So good if you get an earring, kind of bad if you don't. But the only place that drops these earrings is here, so which makes it a good spot. Sakraya underwater. I wouldn't say I have too many hours in here just because it's kind of like out of the way to get to. And yeah, I mean, it's not a bad spot. It's one of the places where like upper and lower are the only places where you get these abyssal essences, which are used to make the frenzy elixirs. And everyone uses frenzy elixirs for PvE grinding. So we need people here, but it is also like the most out of the way spot you will ever do. And yeah, it's good. I know a lot of people grind here, and really just the money itself from like the loot is okay, but you get a lot of money from the abyssal essences if you turn it into there, and the earring, or not earrings, ring drops. So it could be a very good spot, but it also depends more on your steel and ring drop rates and how many abyssal essences you can get. So I think overall it's a good spot. Sonal Camp, entry level Calpheon Elvia spot. Yep, it's okay. If you're higher end and you're thinking about Calpheon Elvia, consider Orcs and Hex for money, but those are also higher end. This spot is Turos, as we all call it. The reason why you're there is for the flame, and it upgrades your armor, a C10 armor, into a fallen god armor. So in terms of money, I think it's roughly like 300 mil an hour. But let's be honest, the reason why you're here is for the Flame of Despair, which I think you can actually buy off the market now. And I don't know, the blue ones, on the other hand, the one in like the Jade Starlight Forest, those are still on pre-orders for another year. but I think you can actually get the orange limbs of Fallen God now. So, is it worth grinding? It's not the worst spot. It's actually like it's kind of relaxing. But the thing is, you need a party of 2, so go in with like your friend or guildie, and you'll be fine. So, yeah, I think it's a calming spot. Upper Gyfin, you might as well just ignore that spot. When people say Gyfin, they mean Lower Gyfin. Paddock's Island. The reason why you're here is for a rich merchant ring piece, which they don't even have listed here. I think that's... Yeah, Paddock's is rich merchant ring piece. Never actually grinded the Rudum outstation. Well, I did 1 hour there, and I just never felt the need to go back. There's like, you might as well either be at Sawknolls or go to like the higher end spots. Winter Tree Fossil. This is the biggest meme spot I've ever seen. You use energy and you don't even get that much silver, and it's time locked. So it's like this spot in particular, it was dead on arrival since Mountain of Eternal Winter released. Murrowax Labyrinth. I legitimately thought this was like a very good idea. However, it's kind of a dead spot. So the way it works is like you go in and you get your own instance, right? So like it's you by yourself in a spot. And now up to 6 people can be in the labyrinth, and they all have their own instance, right? So like 6 people fighting in their own instance of like 10 minutes, and then you move to another room. And then you just keep doing that until the queen boss spawns. And then all 6 of you go in and fight the boss and then get some rewards. It's a very cool concept. I love the idea. However, there's like the whole Mountain of Eternal Winter. It's sad to hear that there's no reason to really be there outside of going for the flame piece. And like once you get the flame piece, it's like, okay, well, I don't need to be here anymore. So the entire Mountain of Eternal Winter region, I wish they would just buff it, because yeah, I really thought this was such a cool concept of a grind spot. Everyone has their own instance, and then eventually a boss will spawn, and all of you work together to fight that boss. That's cool, right? And yeah, it's kind of a dead spot though. So I think the only people that are in here are people who have like 6 guildies that legitimately just enjoy the spot. But as a solo player, I don't think you'll have that much fun. It's cool to go into a few times and test it out, or just keep going until you get your flame. But the sad part is once you're done with that, there's no reason to be back here. And that's just sad. Jade Starlight Forest. This is the main spot in the Mountain of Eternal Winter that you'll be grinding for the flame. Chances are you'll get 100 embers before the flame, but this is the spot to be if you want to. I have a few videos on it if you want to watch how it works. It's a very easy rotation. It's like a triangle, and yeah, I enjoy the spot. It's very simple in terms of rotation. The concept of like you kill enemies, and then sometimes in the late spawns you kill that. It's very simple, easy to learn. You can figure it out in like 2 hours or less. So, good spot. Bloody Monastery. The money is not bad here, but you're going to this place for mostly the shards, and the Crimson Bells actually do add quite a bit. So, some hours I've had 0 Crimson Bells, some hours I've had like 9 of them, and that's where a lot of money comes in as well. And especially the Moonsplit Nails, you turn them into the Lunar Necklace. And that's pretty much the rare drop for the spot. Orc Camp. So, in my opinion, I've grinded the Orc Camp for probably a few hundred hours over the years. And overall, it's a very consistent spot. And what I mean by consistent is every hour, you'll make a lot of silver. However, there's no exciting things. There's no exciting accessories like Star's End. So, if you just want consistent money, like a few 100 mil an hour, Orc Camp is the way to go. However, if you're looking for that thrill of getting that, I don't know, distortion earring or whatever insert accessory, or a rare item like a compass and map piece, This is not the place to be, but it is very solid XP and it is very solid money. So yeah, I have a lot of hours into this spot. Let me just show you actually. So you guys know you need the shards that I was talking about, right? So you need the shards. I have almost 700 of them. That's about how long I've been grinding here. And also, I use a lot of them for the cups and stuff for my other gear. So yeah. So we're almost done with it, and then let's see. Abandoned monastery. I don't think it's bad. It's just you kind of need a group. It's in the middle of like nowhere, and dawn earrings are something that in my eyes are, I don't know, when I grinded there, they're pretty rare to get, and then people could snipe you, and then like that turns into a PvP thing. So is it good? Up to you. Do you like PvP thrills while you're grinding? That's the place to go. Primal Giants, pretty solid if you're geared. Yeah. Oh, wait, actually, no, never mind. Oh, we're thinking about the Quint Hill. I don't know. Haven't really put too many hours into that one. Arethia's Limbo. I legitimately enjoy this spot, but the problem is, one, it's out in the middle of nowhere, and two, you need a witch's token to make it very like efficient. So I wish the witch's tokens that you got from like these thingies. So this is how you do the easy and hard mode and to get into the Arethia's Limbo. However, the drop rate is so low for it that there's not much of a chance you'll be in here that often, maybe like once or twice. But yeah, I legitimately enjoyed it. It's like a grind spot with more of a puzzle check more than anything. So are the rewards good? I don't know. I think I made like 300 mil an hour here, assuming you used the witch's token, and I did the hard mode. So it is an easy and a hard mode. Like one is like 200 AP and hard mode is 290. So in terms of difficulty, I don't think either of them were particularly bad. I don't even think this 290 AP is even like the right number. You could probably go in with less, and it's more of like a defend a pillar, kill enemies thing. So I guess I see where they chose 290 from, but it's not really that in a way. But overall, I love these kind of puzzles, and certain things like Murwak's Labyrinth, Arethia's Limbo. They had such cool ideas for the Mountain of Eternal Winter grind spots. It's just, what's the reason to be there after you got your flame and your Libresca helm? That's the kind of thing that I really hope they put in a lot of effort and thought for upcoming regions. So make it so these spots are worth grinding even outside of the main big ticket item. Hex Sanctuary. This is the meta spot for the 1%, and you make a lot of silver here. It's super dangerous. I have definitely lost a lot of crystals here, and luckily I have not lost the Jinn special evasion ones yet. But when you're learning this is kind of a steep curve. So, but once you understand all the spots and mechanics for it, you'll be fine. It is a lot of money, and yeah, it's good. Olens, the reason why you're here is for the Rich Merchant ring piece. Rumor has it you can make 1 billion silver an hour. I think your average group will probably make like 500-600 mil an hour. Basically, this is more like once you have the gear, these are definitely hard requirements, and you kind of want this. I think that 300 AP and up is probably a good recommendation. As for DP, if you get hit by the big golem, it doesn't matter what your DP is, you're getting one-shotted. Is a good chance. And I've even seen some streamers like Choice. Choice is like most geared player, I think, that grinds a lot. And I've seen him like get super chunked in this area, and he has like 430 DP or something, and full buffed elixir, and it still hurts. So basically, DP is irrelevant. If you get hit by the big mechanics, you're gonna die, for most of us. But I would say 300 plus AP, very good, plus full elixir rotations. Ash Forest. This place sucks. I hate it so much. The money is not good. Why are you here? You want the Deboreka necklace, and or you want the left lung piece. The Spectre's Gaze is basically the equivalent of getting a Deboreka, and the lung piece and the leaves are for your Orzeka. So are you grinding here for money? No, you're grinding here for the accessories, and that's awful, and I hate it so much. But again, I'm gonna have to be here because eventually this is the best in slot necklace piece that we're going for. Gyfin Underground is very solid for XP, and yeah, money is good, XP is good. I don't know what to say. You are grinding here for everything. In terms of drops, Tungrad Belt sucks. I hate it. The reason why people use it is to get themselves that 1 extra AP to move themselves into a new AP bracket. But other than that, I think there are just better and more efficient, cost-efficient upgrades to choose from. Tungrad Necklace, very solid choice. Elcars are good crystals. You can just buy them off the market nowadays. And yeah, overall, it's a good spot for money, XP, and just overall, it's not that bad of a rotation, but it is a pretty difficult gear check. Quint Hill. So this is a good spot for money. 310, ignore that one. I've seen people do it at like 290. So this spot, I don't really like this spot. The reason why is because there's a few enemies, but they take so long to kill, and like I get the concept of it, and that's the reason, but it's gonna take you like at least a minute or maybe 2 to actually kill one group of enemies, and that's just not as fun for me as just like blasting through mobs and going in circles when I'm grinding. But it is worth it for money. XP, no, ignore that one. You're here for specifically money only. But I'd rather kill fast and instead of slower. That's just me. But this is a very solid spot. I've seen people make billions an hour here. All right, and our final spot is Crypt of Resting Thoughts. If you're here, you are literally in the 1%. It's very dangerous. The reason why you're here is Deboreka belts and the Rich Merchant ring piece, very exclusively. If you're looking for Orzeka, this is not the place to be. I know it drops both the Orzeka like outfit pieces, but this is not the place you want to be for it. So if you're here for the Deboreka belt only. Is it good money? Not really. You're better off with the lower risk of death and going somewhere else. But yeah. So that has been all the official spots. I guess hopefully these levels have given you an idea of where to grind. So let's say you're fresh out of season. I want to give you my opinions on the spots now, aside from what I just told you. Let's say you're fresh out of season, 230, 240 AP, right? Where should you be if you are fresh out of seasons? You should be at, if you're looking for artifacts, Kadri Ruins. If you're looking for skill points, Polys. Realistically, fresh out of season, I would go for the infinite potions. So as I told you before, Shurikens is pretty solid. Centaurs, if you just want money, very solid spot. Top recommendation. Expect a lot of PvP there, but it is a lot of money if you can get an hour to yourself. Yeah, just fresh out of season, where do you go? Go for your infinite potion pieces. If you're looking for money, Centaurs, solid. Histria and Akhman are pretty solid as well. It is kind of out of the way though. Kratuga for artifacts, Star's End if you enjoy going for distos. Once you get into the upper like 250, 260 zone, you might want to try Elvia. And we talked about the entry LVO spots before, and these two. And then once you're up into like 270 and up zone, you could try, what was it, Jade Starlight Forest. I guess, nah, 280 is fine. But if you're into 270s, I would recommend trying Sakraya, Orcs, Katuga. Yeah, mostly Orcs though, to be honest. It's good for XP and money. And then once you hit the 280 and up zone, basically, once you're at 280 and up, you've pretty much unlocked all the spots in the game. And just go where you think you're comfortable or where you think you enjoy grinding. So overall, hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you have your opinions and thoughts. Feel free to leave it in the comments. I'm actually interested in hearing what you guys think. And if you enjoyed it, drop a quick like on the video. And I will see you guys tomorrow.